I was paused there for a moment. Okay. Um. So hello, I'm just gonna start over. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to this episode of Sad Jump Marathon Madness. I'm your host, Johnson McGee, and I played Hunter on Hey Hunter and Sad Jump Block. And today is going to be a spooky, spectacular episode because it is Halloween. Happy Halloween. I hope everyone is having a happy and safe Halloween, and we'll be having a safe time trick-or-treating tonight. But anyway, Savage Block, we're going to talk about season 1, episode 60, Savage Halloween. And season 8, we're going to fast forward to season 8, episode 32, Savage Halloween number 2. So let's get to it. So let's go to season 1, episode 60, Savage Halloween. Um, so the first things first, we see Hunter in his outfit, and he's not wearing a costume. He's just his normal self as Savage, and he has a skeleton though, uh, a necklace to kind of scare the Brotherhood, maybe to trick the Brotherhood, um, and scare them if they're not following Hunter's way or the highway or Hunter's rules. Um, and then after he shows off his little thing, then he says bye to his mom. He gets on the bus. He gets to school. He gets breakfast, and then he heads to the breakfast club. And at the breakfast club, he sees everybody. Erica, Corden, um, of course, Brandon's wearing a vampire or type zombie outfit or something like that. He was something. Um, Probably. Um, Lay was they were all wearing his costume, and Hunter was just himself, Savage. Um, and then they just chit chat, and they do some fun Halloween games and activities at the Breakfast Club. Um, and they talk about their favorite candies and stuff like that, and then they just have a good time, some Halloween fun, and then and then the bell rings. He goes to first period, which is language arts, and they do the bell work, and then they finish reading their last spooky story that they've been doing to get ready for their upcoming spooky savage play, which we talked about earlier. Um, um, this past week, a couple days ago, and then he goes to and then he goes to second period. Miss Warnock reading. They just do like a little beginning lesson, and then they are working on their book. And then that's pretty much it. And then they go to the spookiest, craziest class ever. Um, Cleopatra, and it's pretty terrifying. With Miss Cornell, they do the bar work and then the lesson, and then the creepy activity. Um, and then that's it. And then he goes to lunch. Um, with his barhead, and he sees all his members, his assistant Camden, Nick, Bradley, John, Adam, Dustin, um, I say John, Adam, Jared, Cameron, all the Caden, Case, and all the members are there, and they show off their costumes. They chit chat. They do some spooky games on their phones because it is the first thing. It is a game day. They eat their lunch. They just chill, have a great time. Um, Hunter tries to play a trick, but it doesn't work so well. But anyway, um, and then they finish eating lunch, and then they go to Stay Hall, which we don't see, and then they go to Science with Miss Fairchild. They do the bell work, and then and then assignment activity, which is kind of creepy, which you'll find out why. And then he goes to choir with Mr. Neville. Even though it's Halloween, they're doing Christmas, and already still for their Christmas program. They're just practicing away, doing some skills and stuff like that. And then they go to chaotic civics with Mr. Wildlanwich, which is a little bit wilder today. But today, other than doing an assignment or a lesson or being scared to death by him screaming and doing his board, um, or yelling, he this it's just chill. They have some spooky music. It's just a chill period. But the lesson today is just us talking, uh, which is a good lesson, and a good message. Of course, I had my book and a good message altogether. They talk about how you dress up as people. Um, you pretend to be someone you don't want to be, and which is fine. Halloween is fun, and you can dress up and be whoever someone else for a day. But the message is, you should always be yourself or something like that, and you shouldn't be fake, and you shouldn't be pretend to be someone you're not. Um, which is a good message, and just be yourself. So, and he even got kind of sad and emotional talking about, and that's the first time I probably seen him ever probably be that sentimental. But that was a good message and a good moment. And then, he goes to resource and he does his math assignment with Erica for the first half. And actually, this previous Wednesday, I will say, and they didn't. I don't think they had social group the day before for some reason. And then, but they have social group on Halloween. They go into this room, with Mr. Page, the counselor, and all the social group buds, Dustin, Logan Walters, Gage, all these people, the normal social group. And they go into this room, they get some candy, they have some candy at first, and they talk about whatever they talk about, and then they do like a spooky activity to talk about their favorite stuff to do on Halloween. Um, and they just have a good time with the social group, being social. And then they look up the window and it starts to snow. It's a snowy Halloween, and they're like, oh my gosh, this is so spooky. And yes, it was 2019, and the craziest thing was it snowed on Halloween that year. So when it started to snow, I said, oh my gosh, this is so spooky. Yeah. And then he goes back to resource. They finish their math assignment, and he prepares for the evening. Then the bell rings at 3:35. He walks out. Everyone's walking out with their fun costumes, their dino, costume, inflatable thing. Everyone is going home for the evening, finishing their work, and getting dressed up if they haven't already. Hunter prepares to get dressed up as Batman, which I think he dressed up that year. One of my favorite personal and my character's favorite superheroes. Um, and still to this day, kind of. Um, and we don't see this. We don't see trick or treating. But they prepare for trick or treating. All the kids, all the people. And Hunter gets ready, and then he trick or treats for the night and sways all day in his Batman costume and gets lots of candy, which we don't see any of this. But that's just, I'm telling you, that's what I did that evening. Uh, it was a snowy, kind of cold evening. Um, I think the snow it wasn't that bad. It wasn't heavy. It wasn't slick. It was just for the, I don't think it was just for a little tiny flakes. And I think it paused here and there, but it was kind of crazy. But he had a fun evening. Now let's fast forward to eighth grade, season 8, episode 32, Savage Halloween number 2. And this time it is on a Monday in 2022. Um, so first things first is um, Oh yeah, the first things first is he shows off once again has a creepy necklace. He don't really dress up or anything. But he has a little his pyramid. So he goes to his room. He does his pyramid. Is another painful pyramid. Um, for members that have been driving Hunter crazy. Some of them will be getting treats. Some of them will be getting tricks. And then after the pyramid, he says bye to his mom. He gets to the bus. He gets to the high school. He has breakfast. Then he gets on the Hartman bus. He gets to Hartman, and today is an early education day with Miss Higgins. And then they just have they begin to prepare for the upcoming week. Um, Now the Thursday before Halloween, or the Wednesday before Halloween, we celebrated Halloween with the preschoolers. Hunter is in English, but they were walking around Hartman and getting candy. We had a trick or treating thing, and Hunter got to see the kids and give out candy and walk around the phone. So they had the preschool had their celebration. Really. So don't fear because they still got to celebrate, even though it wasn't a preschool day actually on Halloween. But the kiddos have still had a good time. But anyway, this day they were preparing for their upcoming week sessions, doing their weekly calendar, and then they have their 15 to 20-minute break where they get some candy. I believe there's just candy on the table, I believe. But anyway, and then they go back to class, and then they finish preparing. Doing their lesson plans, and then they go to the room and get materials they're needed for the week, preparing for the week, and then the bell rings, and then he gets back on the bus, he gets back to the high school, he goes to Stay Hall, which we don't see, then he goes to lunch, he chit-chats with the Brotherhood, they see all the costumes, the Brotherhood's costume, um, and then and they do the pyramid, and some will get tricks, and some will get treats. Not really. They don't really get treats, but I don't think. And then they go to Hunter eats his lunch, and then they go to science with Mr. Mundock and Mr. Miller, the student teacher, um, and they have their bell work and not bell work. They have a activity lesson, stuff like that. Um, and then they go to the next spooky class, which is Algebra 2, which they have a lesson and then like an activity, I believe. And then he goes to resource with Oswald. Miss Oswald, they get it done. He gets the assignment done. And then he goes to U.S. history with Mr. Wild Woodwidge. And this time it's not really a BU statement, um, but they just have a lesson and an activity. Which is kind of spooky. And then the bell rings at 3:30, and they walk out the door. Everyone's face with their costumes on. And even though he's in high school and in 11th grade, people still do the trick or treating. Except for this year, though, Hunter was giving out candy this year at his home in 2022. And it was a nicer day than 2019. It did not snow, but it was still a spooky, fun, happy Halloween night. Both times were really happy and fun, and it was a great Halloween. I hope everyone had a happy and great Halloween. If you went just now, been done trick or treating, I hope you got lots of candy. But thank you for watching. I'll see you on Monday night for the last episode of season 11. Is Monday night. The next time on November 3rd. Um, will be the final episode of this season of Marathon Madness. But we'll see you then. I hope that everyone have a fantastic Friday night. Have a wonderful weekend. And I'll see you Monday night for more Marathon Madness. See you then. But for now, goodbye. And I'll see you next time. God bless and protect you all. Bye.